Right now, say I want Josh Taylor and get the Josh Taylor fight because he's April. That's right. So anybody on that pipeline right now, that's a big deal.
I talked his ass, but the same day that James Tony came and signed the contract.
Wow.
So I'm talking to Bobo on the phones like this. Look, I got Zab on one phone, I got James on one phone.
What is Crawford gonna do before? He's gonna beat Sean. Everybody listen, he's gonna beat Sean. He's gonna beat Sean. He's gonna beat Sean.
Mike is the perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah. What's up? Welcome to Let's Talk Sports, y'all. Boxing Talk edition. How y'all doing this week, man? We had a boxing is busy. Boxing got a lot going on. A lot has took place. A lot is happening. We're gonna talk about it. Might bring some few people in here just to chop it up with us. But if not, we gonna do what we do, man. You know what I mean? First of all, let's get it popping. Last weekend, we saw Tszyu go ahead and take care of Mendoza, which was a nice fight. He did what he had to do to get the dub. Not really gonna get into the whole KSI Tommy Fury thing. You know what I mean? What we call mixing up sports type thing. It didn't go. It wasn't as exciting as people thought it would be. KSI, and then it wasn't the type of contest that we could, kind of hype up. The most exciting part of the whole night was when Logan Paul fought in the crowd and all the people got involved with it. That was the most exciting part of that night. So we're gonna leave that alone. Tszyu calls out Charlo. First question I got: if Charlo can comfortably come back to 154 and make that fight, that's a fight that I think is next. That's a nice fight for him. It's still a big fight, and it's something that can keep him in the 154-pound division. And it's to be him, he can regain his undisputed title. I think that'll be a good move for him. If not, we got to see some type of alternative, solution for where he's at right now, because as we know, he went up to 168 and it didn't go so well. So pretty sure he won't be staying at that weight. But the only question is, can he make it back to 154? And if he can, let him and Tszyu get it on. You know what I mean? It looked like I think he can come back to 154 comfortably, because it didn't look like his body held on to that 168 fight pound. His body didn't look chopped up. He didn't look like it was. No excuses for his loss against Canelo. It just didn't look like his body was totally there for that fight. So him versus Tszyu should be a good fight. Let's see it. You know what I mean? Tim gets the opportunity to become undisputed, and then both of them get the opportunity to become undisputed again because he was stripped that night. So I don't have a pick. I won't want to see how the camp look, but that's, Tszyu versus Jemell Charlo sounds like a pretty good, formidable fight as we get ready for Boo Boo Andre versus David Benevidez, which will be a dandy of a fight. I don't have a pick on that one yet either, but like I say, it's a fight that definitely is gonna dictate what happens at What up, man? I'll send the link in a couple seconds though, Bralo. And you don't think he can make it 54? But like I said, his body didn't look comfortable at 68. He wasn't cut up like he normally would be in his normal fights. He just looked like he didn't cut the weight he would normally. Look like he just left some of the weight on that would be on there in between fights. Don't look like he really cut it up that good. You know what I mean? Or maybe he just ain't used to that kind of weight because it didn't look good on him. You know what I'm saying? Not saying anything like that. He didn't look defined like he normally do it in all his fights. Normally he's pretty cut up. But I still like, like I said, I don't have a problem with him coming back to 54, getting it on. Speaking of 160, Charlo, he got to dance with Jose Benevidez as his comeback fight, which I think, he should win that fight rather easy. Nothing against Jose, but he should win that fight rather easy. And then from there, I would be pretty upset if his next fight is not Caleb Plant. Since Caleb Plant has voiced that's who he wants. Imagine that the guy who, the slap heard around the world, he's saying he wants Jemell Charlo. I want Jemell Charlo and Caleb Plant. I want all the bells and whistles and all the trimmings. I want that fight. You know what I mean? I want that fight. Now, matter of fact, Brandon, it is a topic I want to chop it up with you about, and then I'm gonna send you the link to you right now. It is a topic I want to chop it up with you about because I got a different spin on. Okay, it's been announced that Showtime is getting out of boxing at the end of this year, and for whatever reason, people are looking at that this is possibly the end of PBC. Don't know why. Don't know where you're getting that from. But I don't think it's a bad thing, and I don't think it's bad for whatever. I think it's a mutual part of business. I think the way it's being announced and the way they're moving, since they want to announce it for everybody right now in October, I think they're trying to get ahead of something. I think PBC probably had a better offer from probably Amazon or somebody else on the table and decided to go that direction. And I think they mutually parted ways. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. And then it's a lot of stuff going on with these outlets that's not adding up. But that's all I'm going to put on it. I'm not going to put a whole lot of stake into going back and forth for whether PBC got put out or they left on their own. But that's my opinion. I don't see where a company looking at the landscape of what they had. Let's look at this for real right now. Let's look at this for real. I'm going to send it to you. Let's look at this for real. Right now, you have Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, Deontay Wilder, Tank, all these people on this platform, Boots, all these people on this platform, and you telling me that if I was a business owner, I'd look up and say, "Man, I'm not trying to do this. Don't make sense to me." So I'm thinking they mutually parted ways. That's my take. People can take it and run with it because I know it's so many conspiracy theories all up and down social media saying they got put out. Is the end of this, is the end of that. I'm not buying that. But in the meantime, as we get to these fights, are you saying what I just said makes sense? You saying what I just said makes sense? I want you to come up here because I know you in the promotional game and you in the business. But I wanted, but while I'm putting the link there, you saying what I just said makes sense? I want to know. You know what I'm saying? Let me put these up there so people can see what we're talking about. No, it makes sense too. Oh, hold on. See what I'm saying? So it don't. Like I said, I think they mutually parted ways. That's just me. Anybody else in the comment section give your thought? I think they mutually parted ways. Because I'm gonna tell you when I knew, in my mind, where I knew something was wrong with them is how they was moving with some of the promotions and certain fights. They just was moving funny in ways that they normally wouldn't move. There's the link in the comment section right there. And for Brandon or whoever else feel they want to pop up, tell me what they feel. I think PBC and Showtime mutually parted ways because, like I said, just certain ways they was moving just didn't add up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Certain ways they was moving the fight, the way they covered the Spence Crawford fight, the way it wasn't built up and the way they was covered. I'm not knocking. It just didn't look right. You know what I mean? There wasn't enough excitement coming from them. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what we talking about? Tell me what your spin is on that real quick.
Hey, what's going on, AKA? first. I have my son with me, so if you hear a kid in the background, it's my little man.
All right, put a pic on your profile, man.
I got one. I got to put it on here. I thought I had one on here. I'll get one up here in a minute.
All right, go ahead.
I think it was a mutual separation, and it was time to move on. Showtime isn't a boxing. They're not a boxing or sports network. They're in the streaming. Their budget isn't getting any bigger. They're not giving out much to do with free boxing. It was good to leave, because if you're PBC and you are now trying to do whatever you're trying to do, and you got a Crawford and a Canelo over there, you need commitments. And unfortunately, I think as far as what Showtime could give them, they gave it to them, and it's time to move on. It's just a business move. It's not. It could be the end of PBC, but you know, you come and you go in boxing. You know.
I don't think it's the end of PBC. They got too much going on for it to be the end of them. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's the end of PBC. I just think that you could the way they was moving with certain promotions and certain fights, you could see it's a disconnect somewhere. It's a disconnect somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It's a disconnect somewhere. But I don't want to hop on that too long, because I just wanted to put my spin on it. I've been, you know, of course, I travel all through social media. I go to Twitter, I go to YouTube, and of course, the conspiracy theories are shooting. You know what I mean? You act Rich Glazer, the whole building burned down. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, what Rick is saying, he's not completely wrong. I think it's the way he's saying it is where it becomes problematic. Boxing is hard. It's hard to make a profit in boxing. Like, it's really hard to make money, because you got to spend money. You got to hope the tickets will sell. You got to hope the sponsorship will kick in. You got to hope the pay-per-view will sell. And, you know, if it's going to take you $10 million to make something happen, making back $10 million is not. That's like the worst thing you want to do. You want to make a profit. And I think in the case with PBC and Showtime, having everything be on pay-per-view, not really having a clear strategy of how you're moving things, it's going to be hard to stay in business that way. It's going to be hard. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it's going to be hard, especially when people are stealing it more. I hate to say it, but, you know, you look at what, you know, Logan Paul or Jake Paul and them are doing. I mean, they're grabbing a big piece of the market share when it comes to just viewership. And that's
but Showtime did multiple Jake Paul fights. They did a Jake Paul fight this year. So I'm saying they're in the business with them. So,
well, but that goes back to my point. If Showtime was a boxing or sports network, I would say it'd be really good. But Showtime is a streaming network. You know, they don't live and breathe off of boxing. So boxing is something that they dabble in. But if you really want to be successful in it, you got to put a lot into it. Like ESPN and Top Rank.
30 years.
I mean, dude, it was 30 years for HBO too. I mean, both of them said, look, this is just not working anymore. And it's not, you know. You got to come up with some original programming and movies and stuff like that. You got to compete with Hulu and Disney Plus.
HBO was bold enough to test these promoters and make it seem like, oh, y'all need us. And the promoters was like, no, we'll show you we can make it without you. And that's what happened to HBO. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so I think with HBO, what happened to HBO is they bankrupted themselves trying to pay fighters all this money. And, you know, if you're paying me $2 or $3 million a fight, if your subscriptions aren't going up that much, then you got to throw it on pay-per-view to compensate for the change in income and revenue. You can only do it so much, and once I start stealing it, I'm probably not going to go back to paying for it. So if you're gonna say, look, I'm giving PBC $50 million, okay, I got a link to watch all these fights for free, and that's kind of where you are. And so either fighters are going to have to be more reasonable with the amount of money that they're asking for. Promoters are going to have to really figure out what they're doing, because let's be real, we had conversations about it. Boxing's a really messed up business. It's a real messed up business. I mean, we can't even figure out how you judge a fight.
I'm listening. Hello?
It's just move on with it. Boxing's gonna have to adapt if it wants to stay in business.
All right, so what do you think? Did you see the back and forth between Bud Crawford and Oscar De La Hoya? You
Yeah, I
know,
seen some of it, and I agree with Bud. What I understand where Oscar is coming from about having legitimate representation, and I think that's fair. But I also think you got to have the boxers involved in what's going on because at the end of the day, they're the ones getting in the ring, and maybe they might have a manager and promoters working for them, and they're doing the right things. But the fighters also need to know, okay, here is what you're getting yourself into on this deal. You need to understand this. I think fighters should have the freedom to go to whatever promoter they want to go to for whatever fight. Say, look, I want to be with you today. Tomorrow, I want to be with them, and it should be perfectly fine. I don't see a problem with a boxer saying, look, if I'm gonna come to PBC tomorrow, next week I might be on Golden Boy. The fights make sense, the money's right. Go do it.
I think you're going to see a lot more than that, a lot more than that. And guys like Oscar, y'all going to have to find different ways to package up your situation to make people want to come sit at your table. You just going to have to find different ways. It's still a place for you, but you're going to have to find a way to make it work. You know what I'm saying? You got to make it work fighters' whiles now. You know what I mean? And it's going to be interesting how to see how this all turn out. Speaking of this, next week, y'all, this is something I want this hot take right now. Hopefully, I can get her on the shows before next week. I know she's busy. Amanda Serrano this has not been talked about enough. Amanda Serrano is about to make women's boxing history next week. She's about to be the first woman to go 12 3-minute rounds in women's boxing. That has never happened before. Is she ushering in a new day? But she's definitely going to be the one to do it. And it's next Friday. And this is not being spoken about enough. Nobody's talking about this. We're talking about all this other stuff. That is something to be spoke about.
I don't disagree. I know I heard about the first fight in women's history being 12 rounds. I will admit I have not seen much about it, even though it's next week. So maybe they'll ramp it up something, the next few days. I don't know, but yeah, it should be applauded more. But it probably won't get the recognition it deserves because it's women's boxing.
I want to see how this turn out. I'm so locked in to see how this turns out because this is something right here. She's scheduled for 12 3-minute rounds, man, and it's next Saturday. It's going to be on the Zone, of course, and she's headlining. Pretty much, she's the only woman on the card. Well, beside the opening prelim, she's headlining. She's headlining pretty much an all-male card, and like I said, this is the first 12-round 3-minute fight in women's boxing history. I want to see this. I think this is big. I think this is impressive. You know what I mean? And I want to see how this turn out. And I think all of us boxing fans, diehards, we need to tap in and check this out. She needs the support. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think so. Yeah, and I mean, kudos on her making history. Like I say, hopefully boxing will make some more changes to make the sport more interesting. Women have been saying they want to go 12 rounds. They're doing it. So hopefully that goes forward, continuing. It's not like a one-time thing. Hopefully they'll get better with the judging and everything. Hopefully they'll get rid of some of these sanctioning bodies that don't matter. I'm hoping boxing continues to make the smart decisions. Because that's what boxing needs right now.
Yes. So, I mean, listen. All in all, I'm not mad at boxing. Boxing, we've had a good year. We've had a good couple years. Still some stuff we got to fix, but I'm not one of those that's like upset with boxing. Boxing is still doing good. We still got more big fights coming up. Like, I'm definitely intrigued with the Boo Boo Benevidez fight. I think that's major. The Shakur De Los Santos fight, that's major. I mean, Sabio Matias, he dropped that fight counted as dropped right in the middle. That's on November 4th. Only thing I don't like about the Shakur fight is why y'all fighting on a Thursday. I don't care about that race that everybody's making up.
I mean, it probably is because ESPN is saying, look, we got college football and other things we want to have on Saturday night. I'm okay with that. Put it on Thursday night at a decent time, and I'm going to watch it. I don't want to be trying to watch a main event at 11 o'clock on Thursday night. Let's get around 8 or 9. I'll watch it.
And then, of course, you know, on the undercard of the David Benevidez fight, you have Jemall Charlo versus Jose, which I think should be an easy fight. Should be an easy fight for him to win, but he's been off for a while, so it could, who knows what may happen on there. But then we got Chantel. I want to see, no matter of fact, how many rounds is this fight scheduled for? Let me look up this Chantel Cameroon Katie Taylor rematch, because I wonder, are they gonna follow the code since this is now the president? You know what I mean?
That's an interesting question. We'll see.
And that's a good question. Now listen, in a battle, a rematch for undisputed junior welterweight, in the rematch, they fighting 10 2-minute rounds. That's interesting. I want to see how this plays out.
It is. Yeah, I want to see, because they may decide to stay with. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to speculate. They might say, look, let's go back to 2-minute rounds. They may say, look, let's try 12. I don't see a reason why they don't. I don't see a reason why it shouldn't be 12. You know, it's not like men are fighting 12, women can fight 12, and there you go.
That means the pay gotta be different. The pay gotta be different for them. You can't pay them the low wages that they've been giving them.
And see, I don't have a problem with that, because the one thing about women's boxing is that you don't have as many of them as you do men's boxing. So there isn't this 8 or 9 fights before you see competition. You know, you'll see people get 3 or 4 fights, and then they're fighting tough fights. So I have no problem paying them more money for it. I don't have a problem paying guys more money if you're going to make it competitive, worthy fights. So, yeah, if they're going to go 12 rounds, you know, obviously you're not going to just, triple their pay. But, you can give them 10, 15% increase over it just to see how it works.
Right. So yeah, definitely. And then their card is mostly a women's card, except for 2 fights. So most of the co-main and the beginning of the card. So basically, most of that is all what happens if Charlo loses this fight. You talk about Jemall with Jose? Yeah.
I mean, if Jemall loses this fight with Jose Benevidez,
it's over. It's over.
I don't know if I would say it's over, but it's going to be very close to being over. If he loses, he can still. I mean, he can lose and still fight. Is he going to be the huge attraction and people are going to be dying to see him? Probably not. But he could still fight, get a couple of paychecks.
Listen, there's a reason why they picked this fight. No disrespect to Jose whatsoever. None. But if you lose to a fighter that was knocked out at welterweight and beat at 154, then you turn around and you can't beat him, that's a problem.
No, it's a problem. I'm not disagreeing. It's a problem.
That's a problem.
I don't know, but I don't know if it's over. I think it depends on how he looks. If he
Where do you go from there? Where do you go from there? How?
I mean,
we ain't saw you in 2 years. Go ahead.
I'm just thinking this. Let's say he loses Benevidez. Okay, if Andrade loses to Benevidez as well, hey, we could go and fight each other. We're not going to get a huge bag, but it would be a fight to keep us active, keep our names at least, still in the mix for something. And, they could make some things happen. Now, is it going to be Hall of Fame worthy after that? Probably not. But they could still be some decent B-sides.
What I'm saying is this. You guys are the 2 guys that we said these guys could be Canelo. These guys are the guys Canelo is trying to avoid. You 2 guys, especially Jemall, since you're fighting basically a tune-up, a keep busy fight to get back in things, you can't lose that fight because you lose all your marquee status. All your marquee, all the luster, it's over. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, I think the marquee status is already gone. I mean, you're in the undercard now.
He can get it back though. He can get
I
it
don't know if
back.
he can get it back.
He can get it back.
Because I don't know if he can get it back because now if PBC is now on Showtime right now, wherever you go, they're going to be looking for the guys that are going to move the needle. And they can say, look, give me Tank, give me Deontay Wilder, I got Canelo, give me Crawford. I don't know if I really need Jemell Charlo.
Think about this. He comes out there, right? Do what he got to do. Dump Jose out of there. The cobwebs out. He back. He fresh. Everybody think he mentally back. The very next fight is Caleb Plant. Got to be. It has to be.
Well, Plant should be this fight because this is a fight people want. People are saying, "Look, give me." I'm gonna say it like this.
They say they saying he need a tune up. Obviously, they feel he need a tune up.
Well, I'm gonna say this: if you slap me, it's on site. There is no tune up. This is personal. This isn't about my boxing career because that slap wasn't a boxing career slap.
We
That's
get it.
Personal slap.
We get it. We get it. But what they saying is we don't want you to run into a fight emotionally without getting your feet wet. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they can say that, but they're not the ones who got slapped either.
True.
That's my point.
True.
Like, you know,
True.
so I'm like, you know, so to me,
apparently he's saying it too, because Caleb Plant is calling him out and he ain't responding. So apparently he's saying it too.
Yeah, you're not gonna slap me, then call me. Yeah, I'm like, no, we gonna handle the situation and we're gonna handle it in the ring. You're my next opponent. I'm gonna be training hard going forward.
Hey,
because I think with Benevidez, because I can tell you this, if he goes in with Benevidez and he looks horrible and still wins, I don't want to see a Plant fight at that point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you.
Here's my thing.
I don't want to see it.
Here's my thing. I still want to see it because it's a personal fight, and it's a fight that need to happen, regardless. Because, like you said, somebody did get their hands put on each other. I mean, they okay. This is the part that people don't get. They both touched each other that day. It's just the slap is what everybody saw. See what I'm saying? Apparently, he grabbed Caleb Plant by his face doing some type of exchange because Plant verified that Jemell did grab him by his face. That's verified. But the slap is just what everybody saw. But regardless, the slap is what everybody going with. After your little tune-up, you should get the job done. No reason whatsoever why you should lose that fight. Let's go get Plant. And then from there, because that's a fight that everybody gonna eat up. The lead up to that fight gonna be crazy. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. Well, I said, like I said, I want to see the Plant fight now. I get it. He wants to get the tune up, but if he doesn't look good in this tune up, I don't want to see Plant fight then. I mean, he can win, but if it's like one of those,
we at the point of no return.
Yeah, if it's one of those things where you barely win, I don't want to.
But you know what everybody gonna say? Everybody's gonna say this. He's gonna get if he wins and looks bad, he's gonna get a pass. He's gonna get a pass. They're gonna say, "Oh man, he had a lot going on, mental, so all the situation. He had to get it out. He got some rounds in. He got the dub, and we're gonna move on to Caleb Plant. He's gonna get a pass.
I mean, maybe, but then if you'll get a pass, the fight might happen, but I don't think the same amount of money will be there.
We'll see.
I mean, we'll definitely see. Like I said, I just want to see some good boxing. Knock yourselves out. Go in there and let's do it. That's how I look at it.
All right, everybody, real quick. What y'all think of the Regis Prograis Devin Haney? I thought that was weird. Thought it was weird.
What, the press conference?
Yeah. The guy talking about you want me to call Tank and all that. What we doing?
I think I'll say it like this, and I don't watch a lot of press conferences, but this is one of those times where having Don King there would have been really good. Because Don King can talk, and I think with Regis and Haney, they're both really good fighters. Their people are there to help them, support them, but it's really falling flat with trying to promote the fight. It's kind of one of those things where I don't want to say it's cheap tricks or something, but it's more like we had to have a good game plan to get people interested in it, and what they have right now isn't working, in my opinion.
Oh, I think people are interested in it. I just thought it was a little bit weird. I think people are definitely interested in it, and they're definitely going to want to see it because it's a marquee fight. You know what I mean? You have the undisputed from 135 coming up fighting the champion at 140 who's a quality fighter. I think that alone I think that alone is going to make people intrigued to see the fight. Now, however, let me say this. Let me be clear, everybody. I got conditions. Y'all ain't going to like this, but I'm just going to keep it $150. Here's the record. Here's the situation. After that fight, whoever wins, whether it's Regis or Devin Haney, I prefer it to be Devin Haney. After that fight, if your next fight is not Teofimo Lopez, Tank, or even Ryan, it needs to be Gary Antoine Russell. I don't want to hear nothing else.
I don't disagree.
I
We were
don't want to
talking
hear
earlier about
nothing
this,
else.
and this is my thing, aka if PBC just hypothetically goes and works with, which I'm hoping the Zone. Well, I'm hoping ESPN, but let me go to the Zone. Okay,
I hope
you
they
have
go to
enough.
Amazon. I want them to keep their own platform like they got it.
I don't want to keep their own platform because you got to start working and getting rid of some of the roadblocks. Like start just making good fights, and let's not worry about if it's on my network or your network. Because you see, Showtime said, "Look, we're going to get Canelo. We're going to go get not Tank. We're going to go get Crawford. We're going to put the money for Ryan, and now we're going out of business. We're leaving, but we brought these guys over here just to dump them after one fight. Go someplace that says, look, we're going to be here. You're going to be here. If by chance we need to make big fights, we're still the same network. So it's
But let
still
me
the
say
same
this,
network.
though. Let me say this to you. In terms of networks not working with each other, it looked like they worked with the most networks this year.
Yeah, Showtime did. And this year they got out of boxing.
I get that part, but I
Yeah.
mean, they're working. Okay, they're the network, but I'm talking about the company themselves. They worked with the other promoters a lot this year.
And that's what I think they should do. I would if I had PBC, I would say, look, all my guys are free to go to any network, any promoter to work if it makes sense for them.
They've been doing that this year, though.
Yeah, but that's what I would do. I wouldn't try to go and go to my own platform. I would say, look,
Nah.
I don't have to. ESPN, I got some guys over here. If you want to bring them over there, we'll do a co-promotion deal with Top Rank. We'll make some money together, and then we can go and do the same thing with the Zone if we want to, and we might do the same thing with some other ones if we want to. That way, you have options.
Check this out,
Because that's what I think they need to do. Yeah.
Check this out. That's what got us here in the first place, though, y'all. At one point in time, you do know Top Rank, Matchroom, and whatever before PBC was formed, all of them was under HBO at the same time. But that's what got us here. Them being in the same place. That's what got us here in the first place.
Well,
they couldn't stay in the same house.
Well, they couldn't stay in the same house. Well, you remember with Golden Boy, Oscar says, look, I want to come to HBO with Golden Boy. I'm the pay-per-view guy. But if I'm coming over here, I don't want Bob Arum here. So they say, oh, well, we'll get rid of Bob Arum for you to be here, Oscar. And then they said, oh, you know what? If I'm going to be over here, I don't want you guys to work with this guy. Oh, okay, well, we'll only work with you. Networks and these exclusive deals are not really that great for boxing because if you have fighters that aren't on this promotion company and on that network, but they're really popular, they should be on that network. Like Canelo, Tank, any big name should be on ESPN. They should have Disney money behind them saying, look, we're in the sports entertainment business. Disney can say right now, we have resources that are geared towards boxing and sports that nobody else has. It would be in your best interest to come to the place that has the biggest budget that's dedicated to sports, that knows what they're doing. And maybe it's PBC on ESPN and Top Rank on ESPN, but hey, we want to have PBC Top Rank on ESPN for this call. And you can't tell us no because we're the one paying for it. I have no problem with that. Like a Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson fight on ESPN pay-per-view, I have zero problem with that.
Tank versus, I agree with Shakur when he said this, because I said this before he even said it. The biggest fight in boxing is going to be Tank versus Shakur. There's not going to be a fight that's going to be bigger than that, regardless of how we slice the pie. Whenever they pull the layers back and we finally get to that particular fight, that is the fight.
And now think about this though. All you gotta do is say, look, How much do you want to fight, Tank? Give me this. Okay, Shakur, how much do you want? Give me this. All right, we're gonna go fight 6 months. ESPN pay-per-view. There you go. Let's make the fight happen. No need to let some stuff settle and to let it simmer. Look, let's make the fight happen right now. That's what I want. Because now we want the fight. I might not want the fight a year from now. I don't know how I'm going to feel a year from now, you know?
I get you. So that's what I'm saying, man. I don't know. All I care about is fights. Whatever they got to work out, however it works out, everybody in one house, everybody in a different house. Long as we keep getting good fights, the fights that we desire, I'm cool. Don't care how it work out. I just want to see the fight. You know what I mean? But it is definitely an interesting topic. You know what I mean? We are waiting to hear back from a couple people soon. Hopefully we can get them in here. We can get the chopping down some of these answers. You know what I mean? But in the meantime, between time, we're just going to keep working, keep building. All right, Brandon, we about to get out of here. I didn't want to keep everybody long. You got anything you want to share with the people before we get out of here?
No, man. Oh, I guess, just enjoy being here, listening and everything. Just everybody have a safe weekend, It's Friday. Enjoy yourselves and be safe. That's really my main thing, brother.
Appreciate y'all for tapping in. We're going to chop this up. And, again, next Friday, hopefully I can get her in here before the week is out. But if not, I definitely want to make sure we got to tune into Amanda Serrano, the first women's fight ever, 12 3-minute rounds. That's a big deal. And I think all of the women fighters who not fighting in that vicinity or during that time frame, they need to be there to support that. They need to be in the building. The men need to shout it out. They need to be in the building. You know what I mean? That's major to me. But in the meantime, between time, we be back at y'all before the weekend's out, man. NFL talks. Hold on real quick. Why I got y'all? I know this boxing talk, but we can always hit the NFL. What do you think the state of your team right now? Oh, he gone. Oh, I'm by myself. My bad. I thought Brandon was still here. All right, y'all. Y'all got no before I roll out. Y'all got anything? Any boxing related questions? Any sports related questions you want to drop in the comment section? We can chop it up real quick. You got anything? Okay. All right. If that, okay, man, we'll tap in with y'all. We'll be back soon before the weekend's out, if not Monday. Peace and God bless. Oh, yeah. Let me say this. We are, as you know, we are working with Bowie State University. We're working on expanding things. Hopefully we can keep this program going. Working with, the college grads, letting them work in sports management and the media and all that as we build through that. And at the same time, we're looking for sponsors. If you can't do nothing else, subscribe to the channel. Just subscribe to the channel, like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. You can also follow us on TikTok. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow me on IG at AK the Apostle. And that's it, man. Y'all be blessed.